Hi everyone. Yeah, it's 9:30 once again, another Tuesday, and as usual, we are going to talk about how to encourage ourselves. This is Zippy Okoth, Dr. Zipporah Okoth, but everyone knows me as Zippy Okoth, and I'm very excited about this moment once again. Yeah, hi Ojambo Inea, hi. I'm glad to see you there. We've had a very lovely evening today. I was at the Kenya National Theatre. We were talking about mental health, and it has really opened up a lot of issues that I never thought existed. And even though I didn't think I would be able to apply that in my talk today, I thought it was quite eye-opening on a lot of things that people in the creative sector go through, which is not just about people in the creative sector, but generally about people everywhere. But that aside, I think it also brings about our issue of self-actualization. Because when you think about it, what really is self-actualization? I will not go about into the book theories or anything. I want us to talk about it in the easiest way that we can understand. And generally, when you talk about self-actualization, we are talking about self-fulfillment. What do you think about yourself? What your ability to maximize your potential and doing the best of what you can according to what you believe that is your best. Hi, Caroline Ojenge. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Hilary. And Anthony Wambugo. Yes. Yeah, so what exactly is it? But when we talk about self-actualization, like we said, you're focusing this month, it's about your personal assessment of yourself. It's not about what people think of your ability. It's about what do you think of your ability. Are you getting the best of yourself according to what you believe is your potential, or according to what people think should be yours? So self-actualization is about feeling that I have reached my potential, I am getting the best of me, I am maximizing my abilities to be able to get the best of me according to what I thought would be my purpose. As we grow up, a lot of us have dreams. A lot of us have expectations. A lot of us have got thoughts on what we really want to be. And when you think about all these, from a very tender age, people start realizing the issue of self-actualization, the issue of being able to have fulfillment. When you are young, fulfillment, pengine ni kushiba tu. Then in your teenage years, it's about being accepted by your peers. But then as you grow older, you realize that responsibility comes with a lot of expectations. And you have to ask yourself, is this really where I want to be? Is this really what I want to be? You realize that nowadays there's a lot of mental depression because people have very high expectations of where they want to be by the time they're like perhaps 25. And then they realize they're 25 and they have not really achieved that. So when we look at self-actualization, we realize it's a human need. As in, when you think that this is something I have to achieve, it's like food to you. It's like survival. So it's something that we can't say that I don't need self-actualization. It's only that each person's level of self-actualization differs. So when we think about self-actualization, what are we looking at mainly? We think about getting the very best version of ourselves. What is the very best version of Zippy Okoth? What is the very best version of, I'm seeing here, Millicent Mbokjanan. Yes, Donjure Pap, Namanda G, I'm seeing you, Beresi Blackman, Nyakwaro Charo, Benadarido, Joshua, Nyamori, and Nixon. What really is the best version of yourself? How do you get to be the best version of yourself, or how to get to achieve that? I'll look at very few things. One, regularly using your talents. And like last time when I talked about self-identity, we looked at your talents. And then again, developing your strengths. Your strengths meaning your emotional strengths, your physical strengths, your intellectual strengths, and even your spiritual and your social strengths. What are your strengths? Developing that also. And also working towards achieving your goals. What do you really want to achieve in this life? Do you want to be rich? Some people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be rich. Some people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a teacher. So are you working towards achieving that goal that you really set yourself up to? And when you look at self-actualization, without going into whether they are negatives or positives, because this is something that at different levels of your life, you realize you are able to achieve a high level of self-actualization, then something can happen, and then you realize that your self-actualization dreams have waned. Your expectations about yourself have waned, perhaps because of what people have said to you, because of what has happened to you in the past, because of the way you look at others and you realize this person did this same thing that I want to do and they did not achieve it. So why do I want to believe that I can be able to get to that? So when you look at characteristics of people who are self-actualized, then I will look at a few pointers. One are people who are self-actualized. These are people who have reached the threshold of accepting themselves. One, they accept themselves. You know, they accept themselves and they accept other people the way they are. Meaning they know, okay, ZP talks a lot. I know my friend ZP talks a lot, and so I know how to deal with that. I listen to her, and then she also gives me time to listen to that. So that is accepting yourself. So as ZP, I know, okay, ZP, this is how I'm supposed to relate with people. This friend of mine, okay, she can go over and over one thing, but I know the way to cool her is perhaps to say sorry, and maybe to be able to understand her situation as it is. It's not about criticizing, and this is something that happens a lot in relationships. You realize that a lot of times we get into relationships so that we can change people, especially as women. We want to change men. You say, I will change that man, I can make him better, you know, I will change his dressing, I will change the things he likes, and I will make him a better man. But then that is not accepting somebody. That is accepting somebody with conditions. And even men, you accept these women, and you want to change their dressing. You say, she likes short skirts, I want her to wear long dresses. She likes this kind of places, I'll change even her style of music, the kind of music she likes. So what is it about accepting themselves and accepting others? So it is very important, in order to be able to be a self-actualized person, to be able to accept yourself and others without shame and without feeling apologetic for who you are. Because it's one thing to be sorry, but are you sorry for doing something wrong, or are you sorry for yourself? There are people, before they say anything, they say, I'm sorry to say this, but you should be sorry to say anything because it has not yet wronged somebody. Another characteristic of people who are self-actualized is they accurately perceive reality as it pertains to themselves and to others. Meaning, you know, I went wrong in this business like this, and this is how I should have done it. And so you decide, I'll change this about this so that this business can become better. I am the one who made this relationship go like this, then I'll change this about this, and then I will change that. But accepting reality also means being able to acknowledge that this thing cannot be salvaged. This business is a flop and I need to close it and be able to start another one. There was a time I started a business, a studio in Homa Bay town. It flopped like nobody's business. One, it's because I'm in Nairobi, the studio's in Homa Bay. And so you realize that anytime I got a producer, there was that issue of the person could sometimes work at night when the administrator was not around. And so they were getting some income that I could not be able to get. And I realized that the amount of money I'm getting is not what I should be getting. I'm paying people out of my pocket, and that's not what business is supposed to be. The amount of people who are calling me that they're going to the studio is not equivalent to the amount of money I'm getting. So I evaluated myself. I said, if this business is not doing this well, then what do I need to do? I need to close it before I make more losses. And sometimes it's about accepting the situation as it is and knowing this will not work and this will work. And I closed that, and I took my equipment, I brought them to Nairobi, and I started another business. And because perhaps here I can monitor it better. And so far I think things have been better in terms of business. Another characteristics of people who are self-actualized is to maintain deep and meaningful relationships. The word here is deep and meaningful relationships. When you realize that your relationship or friendship is not going anywhere, it is very important for you to be able to just let go. Some things are not meant to last forever. Yeah, I can see Mwaura J. Karibu Sana, Donald Ochengoula, Andigi, I'm seeing you, Maxwell, I'm seeing you, Colin Sorage, Achenga Chenos Kaseleta, Eric Farouk, Hadonija, you are not late, you go on time. We're talking about self-actualization. Ngaga, Madegwa, Shikokoti, can someone reach the highest peak of self-actualization? What next after that? We will answer those questions. Can someone reach the highest peak of self-actualization? It is possible, but it is not a permanent condition. Yeah. Omenda Maridola, Karibu Sana, Baresi following Victor Ture Mfalme. Whoa, I like the live stream. It's good teaching. Yes, it's important to learn and share the little that we know. Lilian Otieno Mushio, Karibu Bro Teddy B, Eric Farouk, you are not late. Sadat Muhindi, hey, Theorogenywe Oyugi, a quote, Karibu, Oliver Twist, it reminds me of a book I read some time back. Yoni Andala and Baresi Blackman, Karibuni. You know, reading those names makes me feel like Natuma Salamu kwa radio. Hi, let me write this question. Okay. So let me go on with these few points. So another one is to maintain deep and meaningful relationships. There are times that you really struggle with friendships, especially as women. We have got friends whom we've had for long, but then you realize also sometimes you have got friends, they were very meaningful in your life at a particular time, but then you realize that you're growing distant, perhaps because of work, because of your social life. One person got married, another one is still single, so family commitments keep you apart. Also sometimes another person is traveling, another one is living far away out of town because of work and different reasons. Even for men, friendship changes because of scope of work, distance, and even marital status. And these are things you cannot force, because the moment your social status changes, there are some times that it has to give a great meaning to keep certain friends, because your friend has to be able to accept that your status has changed, to be able to move with you without criticizing you, without being able to feel that you are neglecting them. They need to be able to understand that this person is nowadays very busy, but at least they make time once in a month to meet with me. And at least if you're really good friends, you call each other still. At this age of my life, I have realized that there are friends I can take even a month without talking to them, but still we feel like we are really close. Personally, I like my friend Doti. We've been friends for 20-something years. And sometimes we take even 3 weeks without talking, but when we talk, it's like we are picking up from where we left. We start story to no story. And a friend of mine is Suki. Sometimes because of work, yes, we stick in the same institution, but because of TV, schedules and all, sometimes we're not able to see each other every day. But when we meet, we are catching up like every day, you know. But what matters is how are you able to maintain these deep relationships? Like now, our children, do they know each other? Do we know things about ourselves? We know things that can hurt another person. We know why we need to protect another person from something or so. So those kind of deep relations are very important. Another important aspect of being a self-actualized person is to be able to exist autonomously. Being able to exist autonomously is the ability to make independent choices, being in control of your decisions. And that's a very important thing. As an adult, you need to be very much in control of your decisions, whether it is career choices, choices of your spouse, even if it goes bad. Yes, you have to be very responsible for those choices, because it's about having your self-purpose. It's about avoiding peer pressure and being in charge of whatever you do. Because sometimes, especially in this Nairobi and Facebook, you can easily indulge in peer pressure. And so those are things that you really ensure that you are able to overcome. Yes, it's important to sometimes go with the wave. But then, what are your desires? So being autonomous is being able to make independent choices according to your principles, to your values, and to your beliefs. So that whatever decision you make, you know that even if I go out to hang with my friends at midnight, I know I cannot take more than 2 beers, 2 bottles of beer, then that's okay. You know that, okay, for me, if I wear this kind of dress, I don't feel comfortable. So even if you're under peer pressure, you dress in something that makes you feel comfortable. Being able to make independent decisions is also about looking at your budget and saying, okay, for me, on a weekend, I cannot spend more than 1,000, or for those who are well blessed, I cannot spend more than 5 or 10,000, and standing by that. Nowadays, we have got a lot of stories about girls being killed by men, and men also killing the young girls, not even married people. So they're like boyfriend killing girlfriend, and even spouses killing each other. And you ask yourself, is it about the choices they made within the relationship, or what happened? So you need to be very autonomous in a way that if you make a decision, you stand by it. It's not about what somebody else thinks about you. Whatever the circumstances, it's something that you can be able to one day say that I stand by this choice. Another one is to have a sense of purpose. This is, to me, one of the most important points in terms of being a self-actualized person, having a sense of purpose. You must ask yourself, what is my purpose in this world? Because people have different purposes. And this is not about somebody else dictating to you what you should be. Some people just want to change the world. That's a very common word that people use. I want to change the world. But the question is how? So your purpose is how do you want to change the world? Let me say, as ZP, I want to change the world through using theater and film to change people's perceptions about things. How I want to be able to use my time actively to share the little knowledge I have with others. I want to, what else do I want? I want to be able to make the world a better place by being able to listen to people and being able to help them find solutions, especially in their social life. And that has been my core purpose lately. Remember, purpose cannot be something that stagnant, like it's the same thing ever since I was a teenager. At different levels of your life, you realize that your purpose changes because of your needs, because of the situation you are in, because of the circumstances that has led you to be. For instance, I went through divorce, and that really made me look into myself after going through all that depression and all, and I overcame. It made me realize that I can use this as an opportunity to empower other people, not to live, but to be able to analyze their situation and ask themselves, is this where I should be? Is this what my happiness is about? And a lot of people talk to me, and I'm able to advise people differently because of their different situations. And I realize perhaps my purpose is to be able to make people understand what is the importance of maybe relationships, especially marital relationships, in regards to finding your self-worth, because a marriage relationship is supposed to be able to help you become the best of you. You need to have a partner who helps you bring out the best of yourself. And for me, that is the core purpose of any marriage, to help you bring out the best of yourself. Knowing I have this person who I can stand by at any time is the most important thing in a marriage. Hizo zingine can be able to be supported, but having that friend you can stand by at any time is, to me, the most important thing. And so I find that my purpose nowadays is geared towards that. And even as I teach young people in campus, as an aside, during the lessons, we talk about these things, and I tell them, my dear, sometimes the person you are going to choose in your life in future is right here in this class, because the best partner is your friend. So when you look at all this, are you able to look at your purpose? Are you able to pick them at different stages of your life? There was a time that my purpose was just to teach theater. Now my purpose is about to change people's perceptions. Now I find that I really like doing motivational talks, going to places and talking to people, and it makes me feel so fulfilled. Like after that, I feel like, yeah, I want to do that again. Whether I'm just talking to 5 people or I'm talking to 2,000 people, like the other time in February, it just makes me feel like it's the best moment, being able to share and somebody coming up and telling you, you've spoken to me directly, or whatever you've shared to me, I'll try and put it into practice. It kind of really motivates me. Lucy, karibu sana. George Kiche, karibu. Lily Otieno, karibu. Omamo, George, karibu. Kevin, what's relative between self-actualization and loving yourself first before loving other people? It is loving yourself before loving other people is a step towards self-actualization. It's like the very first point that we talked about, accepting yourself and others. Yeah. Gilja Okumu, karibu. Lydia, Claudia, Pato Pondo, General Kiprop, Fere, Mawa Melvin, Elizabeth, hi, karibu sana. Suki, karibu. That's my friend I have talked about. Jared Omondi, Suki, it's important to listen to one's pocket and live within one's means. Very, very important. You have to be able to make those autonomous decisions because you're independent. Don't get into peer pressure. Toti Lofty na kuona Dongo Nyakirengo, karibu sana. Gilga Okumu, thank you, very educative. I inspire you. Thank you. You also inspire me, mama. Daniel Adhiambo, karibuni. Hizo ni salamu nimetuma. Tuendelee kidogo tena. And then as a human being, to be able to reach that very high point of self-actualization, you must be able also to demonstrate empathy and compassion. This is that humanitarian part of you. As a human being, it is very important for you to know how to socialize with other people, to know how to understand that this person is in pain, I need to help them. How do I help them? It's like this common joke that people say, oh, you tell a pastor that you're hungry, then they pray for you. As in, that one is not empathy. No matter how much you pray for a hungry person, it cannot help them. They need food first, then you can pray for them. So it's kind of like those common kind of situations. If you have a friend and she's going through something, what is the first thing you do? Is it something that you can rescue immediately, or is it something that you need to pray for if you need to pray, or is it something that you need to get help from somebody else? So those are things that you need to find out. To be self-actualized, are you at a position in which you are able to demonstrate empathy and compassion? When you talk about empathy, it's about putting yourself in the other person's shoes, being able to experience what they are going through and finding a way to help. Asking yourself, what if it were me? And then compassion is being able to have that heart to help. So when you put these two together, that is what brings about humanitarian kind of thought. And talk about humanitarian, you hear the word comes from about being human. Being human is about sharing. It's about being one, being able to share another person's feelings and putting yourself in that kind of situation. Like right now, a lot of people are thinking about Turkana issue, but then again, people are thinking about how much have they contributed before, and nothing is going to Turkana in a longer sustainable way. So when we look at all these two things, yes, you're battling with the fact that this money is not giving a long-term solution, but then you go again and you think, okay, sasa nisipopeana nitasikia ni kama sijasaidia watu na wanakufa na njaa. So you battle with these kind of decisions, but you ask yourself, what is best for you? There's no better answer. You know that for yourself. And then karibuni sana Eric Faruk, how do you know your purpose in life? Your purpose in life is about I'll get that to about some exercises. I have some 3 exercises that you can do to find out your purpose in life. You're a blessing to many. Thank you. I see your selfness. I love your attitude. Thank you so much. Wilkins Odinga Fadili, thank you for watching. Nyawino Komo, thank you for watching. Yes, classmate Christine, karibuni. Ruth Mature, karibu sana. And Judith Pinderella, karibuni sana. And then another point into being able to get to become a person who is highly self-actualized is having a sense of appreciation of the goodness of life. If there is something I really appreciate, Zippy, I really appreciate the little things in life. I appreciate waking up in the morning. I appreciate having tea. I don't have coffee. I appreciate when somebody buys me even chocolate. Unajua ile brownie ndogo napenda ile Java. So I mean, nasema tu ile brownie ndogo ya Java. I really love that, and I really appreciate. It gets into my heart, and I just feel like, wow. The little things in life, like my daughter likes writing some letters to me, and it is always the same message. I love you, mommy. You're the best mommy in the world. And every time she gives me that, I just feel like, oh, I hug her, and we feel like, yes, it's about appreciating those little things in life. I appreciate sitting at home and watching a movie or two. I'm like, yeah, today is a free day. It's about appreciating those little things in life, And sometimes, there are things we may go through that might make us wonder, is this really what life is about? But then, even when we go through all that, it's also important to just be able to reflect and ask, what is so good about this day, despite what I feel, despite what has happened? What is good about today? What has somebody done to me? Because sometimes even as we complain, like women, we really complain. I complain a lot. Yes, but there are times when you sit and you look back and you ask yourself, okay, what is good about today? What has happened? Steam imepotea, like last time, steam ilipotea kaboom when we were in the middle of a discussion. But then ikarudi, and I appreciated, at least it came back to Kamaliza discussion. It's about appreciating those small things in life. Somebody gets for you small earrings like this. Do not look at his earrings new 50 boba maso moja. Look at it. This person has brought for you earrings, and that is one of the most important things in life. So to be a self-actualized person, you really need to learn to appreciate the little things in life. Little things depend. There are people to whom little things may mean a new car. There are people to whom little things may mean a new toy car. Ile ya kuendesha kwa board game kama unaenda driving school. Yes. So appreciate every milestone, appreciate every gift, appreciate every day, appreciate the people you have around you, your friends. Sometimes just call to say, hi, I've missed you, hi, bye, love you. I mean, it doesn't have to be a boyfriend. I don't mean you call, if you're a lady, don't call a male partner who's not your boyfriend to say, I love you. Call a girlfriend and tell them, hi, I love you, I miss you, and stuff like that. Because it's about appreciating somebody. Sometimes you never know, but just calling somebody and telling them, I just thought about you, you may have saved somebody's life. Because, sometimes somebody is sitting there and they're like, oh, my world is ending. Then, somebody just goes, hi, I was just thinking about you. And then you're like, okay, I wanted to end my life, but somebody is thinking about me. Just that one call can change somebody's life. So when you think about somebody, call them immediately. Mwambie, hey, leo kuja kwa mafikira yangu sana. Let me call you, Hey, Herina, watching from America. Karibu nyamama. Adongo nyakirengo. Ile kuku tulikula java paleti ya rem. We need to read again. Tutakula ingine. Anyango manyo, karibu. Betty Katungu, karibu. Yes, Judy, appreciation is a plus. It's very, very important to appreciate each other. And then another one is to experience frequent moments of profound happiness. Wajalo tunapenda big words, profound, but generally we mean to experience many, many exciting times of happiness. Yeah. So when you look at your life, ask yourself, why are you sad? People ask me, why are you happy? Because I choose to be happy. You make me sad, nitakasirika. In fact, nitasema maneno. Unasikia venye naongea haraka, hivyo ndivyo venye naongea. Sasa nikikasirika, naongea faster than that, But then, after nikishamaliza kuongea, I say, Aisulu, I go on with life, and life catches up. You have to find every reason to be profoundly happy. There was a time I don't have to wait for birthday. I love cakes, I don't have to wait for birthdays to have a cake. I find every reason to celebrate. I can just decide to bake a cake, to call and order for a cake, because there were times when my babies were young, before they reached 1 year, I used to celebrate their every 1 month milestone by making a cake and say, oh, now she's 6 months birthday, 7 months birthday, those are small milestones. Finding every reason to be happy, and appreciating yourself. Usingoje ununuliwe nguo. Ukipata ile pesa kako kadogo, you go there and you buy yourself that kamtush of even 100 bob, or that ready made of 5,000, or ile mtusha 300, inalingana na mfuko yako. Remember, accept yourself and be autonomous. Remember. So these are things that are very important. Now, I want to go look at some very few things. Areas of self-actualization. One, material things. As a human being, you can find self-actualization through few things, like material things, like clothes, a new house, a new car, a new sound system, a new, many of these material things. You can also find self-actualization through relationships. There are people to whom their greatest fulfillment in this life is just to have a boyfriend. Or their greatest fulfillment in this life is to have a wife. Or greatest fulfillment is to have a husband. Or greatest fulfillment is to have many children. And that is their point of self-actualization. Before they are able to find a partner, they still feel they're not actualized, even if they have all the wealth in the world. So actualization is different for people. There are also people whom, to them, self-actualization is about spiritual fulfillment. They feel, when I am at that position in hata saizi nikikufa naenda mbinguni, that is for them their point of self-actualization. Then we have people to whom self-actualization is about having good health, physical and mental and psychological well-being. To them, it doesn't matter whether they eat once a day, whether they are eating 3 times a day. What matters is that they have got a good health and good physical well-being. They will exercise, they will do all diets, they will try to maintain a good health, wakikohoa kidogo hospitali, because to them that is what matters. So what are your areas of self-actualization? Is it material fulfillment? Is your self-actualization about relationship fulfillment? Is it about spiritual fulfillment? Or is it about health and well-being as fulfillment for you? So those 4 areas are areas of self-actualization. Now I'll very fast go to things that you can look at to be able to find out your purpose. Actualization, like one, this is going to be very bad, but you can just try. Assume that you are writing your eulogy. you know the way you always go and get that book of eulogy. You see the things they write in that thing, yeah. They write about your major achievements, that oh, she was this, she was that, she managed this, she went to this school, she married, so she had how many children, she started this foundation, she did that. Now assume that you're writing your own eulogy. What would you write about your achievements? What will you write about your interests? Oh, she liked this, she liked rugby, she liked football, she liked watching movies, and about their relationship, she loved people, she was a person who loved their own free time. And then how have you changed the world? Was she a person who used to take care of street kids and stuff? As in, write your own eulogy, write your own biography in a way that if you were another person reading it, is it something that would make you feel fulfilled? Then examine your role models. I want to believe each person has got their role models. And I'm not talking about having role models who are in America, I'm just talking about role models who are around our places like Kenya. You can have a role model who is not like really rich. My daughter is here. Okay. Just sit here, Mama, to finish. Then we will sleep again. Parenting is work. Yeah. Just lie up. Yeah. Nikimaliza nitakwambia. Yes, today. Yes. So, when we look at our role models, we are not even talking about role models from abroad, just role models in Kenya. Who are your role models? They may not be wealthy, but the way in which they carry themselves in life, how does that motivate you to be something else? How does that motivate you to want to be like them? Maybe they are kind, maybe they are generous, maybe they are charitable people, maybe they are very hardworking, maybe they are people who have worked through life to be able to get where they are. So those are things that you really need to find about. And then another one is create a bucket list. This is the issue of bucket list. You can need a bucket list, but generally create those goals that we want, and those things that you want to achieve in life before that time comes when you have to say goodbye. And these bucket lists need to have short-term things and long-term things. Like short-term things can be like to have your ears pierced, to have a tattoo. And then long-term things can be like to visit Paris. Like now Notre Dame Cathedral is down. Some of us really were saving to go to Paris someday in future when God wills. Like we might just go there anyway. We will see the remains. Yes, I don't go. I've nimesalimia Angie. Yes, I'm okay. That was me. And then also, you can have got many things in bucket list. As ZP, I have had a really big bucket list, I think. I really wanted to do a one-woman play. I did it last year. I wanted to write and publish about my own story. I really struggled with that, But I did it, and right now I have my book, which is selling. If you go check on my page, you'll see it. But there are also those ones that I have not done. Like I really believe that one day I want to build a performance theater. It has always been my dream that one day I'll build a performance theater where people can be able to perform and at a very affordable fee, because it is one of the challenges that as an artist I really struggle with, that we do not have enough spaces to be able to share that. And then travel the world, just talking to people, and my world starts with Kenya. So this one I have started, but I've not reached that point, But one day it is going to become a reality. And for some people also, doing a course can be a point of self-actualization for them in their bucket list. You've seen people who are already 60 years and they go back to school to get just that degree. You ask yourself, but they've retired. Why are they going back to school? It's because this is something they have wished for so much. But they were not able to do that because they were bringing up children. They were paying school fees for their brothers and sisters. They were paying school fees for their children. So they had to sacrifice that. But now at the age of 60, wamemaliza kusomesha their brothers and sisters, wamemaliza kusomesha watoto wao. And they're like, what else do I do? Let me have this thing that I so much want. And they go back to school and they get that degree. And for them, that one is a very big fulfillment for them, and it makes them feel that they have reached their point of self-actualization. It's not about getting it so that you get a job. It's about getting that title, and then also being able to get the career of your dreams. That's why we say self-actualization is something that cannot be permanent. as we grow up, our expectations change, our dreams change. And so you realize that what you really desired to be in your 20s, because when you reach that 20 you get it, then you have to desire to be more, and then your self-actualization and your dreams change. And it is a good thing for it to be able to grow and change according to where you are in life, because even the richest man in life, in this world, they have reached their point of self-actualization, but perhaps they ask themselves, what more can I do with what I have? Now they start thinking of how they can change society, because initially it was about to get wealthy, and now they got wealthy. Then now what do they need to do? Now they need to change lives. And so that's why you realize a lot of rich people start having foundations so that they can change people's lives. Daniel Joroge Kiruingu, karibuni. Leslie Kodur, Nyambora Waithaka, karibu Jinja Ongonga, Rose Nyaundi, Boy Nat, Okiki Rege, and Unique Monique. We are just finishing, and so I just want to summarize what we discussed today. One, when you talk about characteristics of self-actualized people, I'll summarize that we have just 8 points: to accept yourself and to accept others, to accurately perceive reality as it pertains to yourself and to others, to maintain deep and meaningful relationships, to exist autonomously, to have a sense of purpose and work towards that purpose. It's not just about having the sense of purpose, you have to work towards it. To demonstrate empathy and compassion, that is to have a humanitarianism in your life. Also to have a sense of appreciation for the things in life, whether small or big, and to experience frequent moments of profound happiness. I like that word profound. Tunapenda maneno kubwa kubwa. And then when you look at self-actualization, then we look at 4 areas of self-actualization. People find their self-actualization and self-fulfillment in different areas. Some through material fulfillment, magari, pesa, nyumba kubwa, TV, radio, hizo, sound system. Some through relationships, wives, children, a good family, good extended family, and also some through spiritual well-being, kujua ataenda mbinguni no matter what, and some through good health and physical well-being. So those are 4 areas of self-actualization, and you have 3 ways in which you can assess this: through assessing your role models, through having a bucket list that you can keep ticking and be able to increase your self-fulfillment levels. When you attain them, you keep increasing them, because in this life, when you are at a comfort zone, you are not at a good zone. You have to keep challenging yourself. It's not about competing with somebody else, it's about competing with yourself and knowing, if this is my ability, am I maximizing my potential to the best of my ability? And that is what will give you self-fulfillment. Yes, we have things that can make us change our self-actualization areas, but the question is, when you think of the things we have discussed in the past, your self-identity, when you know who you are, when you have your self-identity in check, then you'll realize that it is very easy for you to have all those points that we talk about, accepting yourself and moving on and being able to embrace your strengths and being able to be fulfilled in every way at every point in your life. So yes, I was asked, can someone reach their point of self-actualization? Yes, it is possible for somebody to reach their point of self-actualization. However, it is important to also note that the moment you are able to attain your point of self-actualization, it is just normal for every human being to have even higher goals for themselves. So it may feel like you're not reaching your point of self-actualization, but in essence, you are reaching them and setting yourself higher goals, and that keeps you going and keeps you alive. I think that's all for today. If we have no questions, I can say bye-bye till next week. And my book is still selling, Oops Zippy, from the Diary of a Divorced Woman, at 800 shillings only. Now it's available at nuria.co.ke. They will deliver to you anytime, anywhere. Andrew Jumba, karibu. Alila Ochieng, Ochieng, Carl Ogola, some names, Carl or Carl. Robert Alai, karibuni. Nyanga Derry, come to Mombasa, Kilifi, and Diani, Tembea Travel. We are waiting for you. Wacha nitajipanga. I really want to travel the world. Those are some of my bucket lists. Ngoja watoto wakue wakubwa. Mjua kusafiri na watoto ni ngumu. Unajua umeenda Mombasa na unachange diapers, ujui bask kwa oshe na ama uchange diapers, lakini tutasafiri. Jaber Nyar Henry, yani ni nyamama, karibu sana. Sasa tutasema bye. It's 10 minutes past 10 and we always want to try to make it short and sweet. And so, goodbye. I love you and looking forward to next Tuesday. See you. And if you have any questions or any topic you'd like me to cover before the end of the month, because this month I'm talking more about self issues, self-awareness, self-esteem, then send it, because next month we'll be dealing with another topic, most probably friendships. So bye-bye and thank you. Vinky the poet, kudos. Yes. Kevin Johnson, yeah, I'll have to send you a copy. Don't worry, my friend. Okay, Wario, I'll find that book. I hope they will deliver. I'm telling you, Wario, they will deliver it to Masabit. Nuria.co will deliver it to Masabit. Yeah. Lynette Morena, I need to get a copy of your book. Yeah, you will get it. Yeah, Eric Farouk Wanga, what is your purpose? Your purpose, each person has got a different purpose. Your purpose has to be something that when you evaluate yourself, generally, when you think about your personality, your needs, what are your desires? Do you feel like you are somebody who wants to change the world through your work, or do you feel like you're somebody who wants to change the world through your what? Your silence? Because you can be a scientist. Scientists like working in silence and doing their stuff, but how will it change the world? Also, you can also change the world by working in your own small way to be able to help other people. So when you think of your purpose, think of your desires, your personality, your what gives you joy every day when you wake up. Is it about just perhaps helping with children, helping with elderly people, teaching, helping around the office, just making people happy? Generally, what makes you happy? Finding your purpose is about what's making you happy. And remember the 4 areas of fulfillment: material, relationship, spiritual, and health. Okay, bye Spinderella. Orituru. Yes, Orituru next time. Moching utaipata haraka sana. Bye.